Hi there, welcome to Bella's Vistas. We've traveled through the mountains, we've seen sunrises, wonderful sunsets, we've crossed into the Northwest Territories, we visited Alaska, been to Tombstone Park, driven the Dempster Highway, we've seen northern lights, many magnificent scenes. Please come on along, like and subscribe. We're driving down the main street in Dawson City. It's an old city and it's been restored to its former glory. You can see the false front on this building here. That's the way they built things back in the day. They would build them with a false front and then paint up them really bright so they look big and bright from the outside. Here's the blacksmith shop and some other little shops that have been restored. Here's a couple of buildings the way they would look without being restored. Sometimes I like that even better. Driving down past the hotel again now. We took a drive back and forth. Wanted to see as much as we could of the town. We're driving out towards, there's a market, a little farmer's market outside. Driving along on the highway towards Carcross, we see a lynx running across the road. Now we're seeing the moon rise. Just beautiful. We have to drive across this bridge heading back towards Whitehorse. This bridge is in amazing condition. It's solid, it's not rough and bumpy at all going across. It's just great. The road is good. Lots of nice color on each side of the road. You gotta be careful not to drive off the road when you get distracted with the colors. I find that's a problem. Anyway, I have to really concentrate on what I'm doing and not get carried away looking at the fall colors and things. Beautiful road. What a night. Starting to get towards sunset, the moon's coming up. Beautiful mountains off in the distance. Everywhere I look there's a photograph to be taken. Look at the sun reflecting off the clouds. Beautiful getting towards evening, moonrise. It's getting to be really a nice evening. I just love the mountains framed with the trees. I like to try and frame the mountain with some trees, get a little foreground, add some depth to the photographs. It's really nice. Here we have a mountain in the background. There's some float planes by the side of the road near a camp. Indian River Outfitters is right nearby there, and I think a lot of the people fly in. It's a beautiful road. We're driving along. We've got to go across this little bridge. The bridge is nice. It's not bad at all. I feel a little bit like they're almost too narrow to have a couple big vehicles go through there, but we get through every time. Here's the desert in Carcross. It's amazing. Right in the middle you have a forest, mountains, and then you have a desert with some sand that was deposited there by the glaciers many years ago. It's just really unusual. There's one of these in Manitoba too, sort of a boreal forest or something like that. Here's a little coffee shop. We're driving into Carcross. There's some old artifacts at the side of the road. Nice buildings, just the way they used to be, the general store. We're driving through town, having a look around. Look across the river and I see some small buildings and things. Coming up to the waterfront now. It's a beautiful little city. Rail car at the side of the road surrounded by fall colors. It's beautiful. Looking across the river I see some of the old buildings which really attracted me. Love to see the old buildings surrounded with red leaves and things. Look at this old cabin. My, handyman special. We're driving along the road from Carcross to Atlin. The colors are just amazing. Look at the trees on this little island out in the water. Well, we're on the road to Atlin. It's a beautiful afternoon. It's not bright and sunny, but it's bright enough. It's an overcast day, light overcast. There's some clouds in the sky. The colors are there for sure. It's a nice day. It's not hot. It's cool to drive. The roads are excellent. Beautiful. We're just motoring along, doing probably 88 kilometers an hour most of the time. Beautiful drive. Lots to see. I was looking for wildlife. Didn't actually see too much wildlife along here. We did make up for that later on, but here we didn't see an awful lot of wildlife on the road. I was hopeful that we would. Lots of scenery though. There's the mountain in the distance. It's the Atlin Mountain, I guess. So that's where our destination, where we're headed for. It was a big drive that day. We barely got back in time for dinner at my sister's house. It was a great day. We're just motoring down now. It's super. Great day. Now we're pulling into Atlin. You can see the mountain closer up now. Some of the buildings and businesses on each side of the road. Shell. Lots of things here. There's a waterfront with some seaplanes. Lots to see. We're going to drive down here onto the waterfront, have a look around, just drive in. We didn't have a lot of time to spend here because our schedule was fairly tight. The day was wearing on a lot more than we thought it would. There's the harbor, some boats there, mostly pleasure boats, I guess some business boats as well. There's a couple seaplanes out there. What a gorgeous evening. Look at the sky. My heavens. We parked up here. It was just beautiful. Back on the highway again. Just driving down to our campsite on Blue Lakes. It's very private. It's just the kind of park up that we look for when we're boondocking. Got water right beside us in case we get some northern lights. I think it's going to be just perfect here. Well, this is what our park up looks like in the morning. My good heavens, what a beautiful morning. Look at there. There's the road. That's the road behind us. The road ahead of us, who knows what that holds. We'll just start up the van, away we go. What a sleep I had here beside this little lake. So glad we found this spot. Well, we're driving out of one of the nicest park-ups we've had. Great boondocking right beside the lake. Wonderful place. Now we're on the road. Got quite a little run ahead of us. Probably be driving most of the day. We're in northern BC and we're heading towards Prince George. I've got my long lens on the camera in case we come upon any wildlife hanging around. There's sure traces of animal paths. Just see what we can see. And it's another day back on the road. So, let's see which way he wants to go. Well, we see a bear. My goodness, a beautiful bear. Wow, there's a nice lake in the bottom of that valley. Just amazing fall foliage. I'm so impressed. Glad to be driving this road, even if it does go on forever. Beautiful colors down in this valley, little river gorge, beautiful colors. Look at there, my goodness. Got some shots of the van here parked up beside the road. Lovely colors, the trees are just beautiful here. The skies, I loved seeing the mountain with the clouds over them and everything like that. Here's a little cabin in the woods, shot across the river. Wow, this road is not bad. We weren't driving quite this fast, but we were eating up the pavement just the same. Here we go. When we're driving along like this, I usually have a long lens on the camera, and I've got everything set for in case I see some wildlife, so I'm going to make sure I get the shots of it. You don't always see wildlife though, but you just hope for the best. Driving along here, and what's happening here? My goodness. Gotta slow down a bit here. I see something going on at the side of the road. Slow and quiet, slowly, slowly. Stop. Wow, look at there. These guys seem pretty happy. They're just munching away on the foliage. They don't seem to mind me taking their pictures at all. It's hard to get them to look at me. I call out to them and then they'll look once in a while. They seem to be busy eating non-stop, just like the bison. They just keep eating and eating. But these guys were really amazing. Look at their healthy bears. Their coats are good. They're not scrawny at all. They're looking really good. Beautiful, beautiful lakes. We parked up here. This was the moonrise. The next day we found these totem poles. What an amazing little village this was. I was so taken by these. In the village of Hagwilget, which means the home of the quiet people, this is the bridge across the Bulkley River. Before the non-Indians arrived, poles lashed with cedar rope were supporting timbers for this noted bridge.